Welcome back, everyone. It's race 9 of the IRS GT4 Championship Series. Today we're here at the iconic Suzuka racing circuit. On pole, we have R1600 Turbo. Starting in second position, we've got Tim Lohr, our championship leader. Third, we've got a returning former participant in the series, SDM Viper. I'll put the names back up for you. Fourth, we've got Ace Boy with a strong showing, carrying 1% ballast. It should be noted that pole position is carrying the full 5% ballast turbo. Tim Lohr as well, our championship leader. SDM Viper missed a few races, but he's back today. He's carrying the 2% ballast, which he had accrued up to his last race. You don't lose ballast by missing events. You can only lose ballast by participating and finishing outside the top 3. So he's still carrying that ballast. Fourth, we've got Ace Boy doing well with the 1% ballast. And fifth, it's Moby. No ballast for him. Whitey in sixth. Seventh, we've got Damon. Eighth, we've got Mo Power. Ninth, Guido. Shout out to Guido for joining us. He's running this race in the late night hours over in Germany. So thanks for joining us, Guido. And as always, it's great to have you. Gentleman Racing struggling with 2% ballast, not able to qualify in the single-digit positions, so he's going to be looking up to pick up spots as his usual MO is. Try to capitalize on others' issues. Race Fan, the first of the AMs in 11th. Desert Penguin joining us again this week in 12th. Penguin had missed quite a few races at the start of the season due to an injury, but he was back last week, and hopefully he'll be with us throughout the rest of the season. 13th, Led, and 14th, Kanita. So just quickly, I'm hoping to put up a halfway decent overlay, giving you the point situation. As you can see by the points before you, Tim Lohr has enough points to be clear, regardless of, well, he's virtually assured the championship. He just needs a strong finish in the top 3 here. May seem odd, being that R1600 Turbo has been so dominant as of late, but yeah, Tim Lohr has been around long enough to have amassed enough points to secure the championship if he gets a decent finish here today. Obviously anything can happen, but it'll be interesting to see if he finishes where he's starting now, or maybe even wins. He's gonna have locked up the championship here in race 9. Still a lot to fight for, though. We've got Moby, Mo Power, and Gentleman Racing in a tight battle for second in the Pro Division Championship. And then, of course, Kanita and Willow are also very close. So let's get back up to the front as we're about to start. Yes, they're off. Oh, tight crew. Oh! Oh no! Looks like Mo Power had some troubles. Let's get the telemetry up for you. My apologies. Yeah. Yeah, it looks like Mo Power got into turn 1, got the left side rear wheel out onto that AstroTurf out there. tried to save it and got a love tap from Guido, who really had nowhere to go. Just a racing incident there. But it looks like Mopower's going to have to nurse that damage for the first stint. As you know, there's only one pit stop. It's not mandatory. It's kind of forced by the... Oh! Yeah, and Viper in some troubles there in the hairpin. Looks like he gave Ace Boy a tap, but got his wheels on the grass as well, and under acceleration had a spin. And it looks like he's dropped out of the race. Frustration perhaps, or maybe better things to do after a poor start like that. Unfortunate, hate to see that. Viper's always a contender. And as you can see, we've got Mopower still nursing it. Up front, we've got Turbo holding on to his lead all through lap 1. Got Timlor on his heels, hoping to grab a little bit of the draft. But these cars, I would think, would be evenly matched on the power, particularly since they're both carrying a full 5% ballast. Ace Boy up to third after Viper had his issues down in the hairpin and left. Whitey still struggling with the Corvette pedal setup, but strong showing with Moby all over him really, and that came in very strong through the twisty sections of the course. Is gonna be, I would think he's gonna be oh, and there's an example of the issue with the pedals. Easy to just kind of overdo it, particularly on the brake when you can't adapt it to your style, get the right feel. But he keeps it together. Certainly he's got Moby tight on his heels, and he's got Ace Boy right ahead. Let's see what else is going on. In 7th, we've got Gentleman Racing up 3 positions already. Damon up a couple positions as well from his starting position in 8th. He's up to 6th, trying to see if he can reel in that pack of 3 of Moby, Whitey, and Ace Boy, to see if he can get involved in that mix. And Gentleman Racing's gonna have some work to do to catch Damon. In 8th, we've got Guido in the AM division, found his way ahead of Race Fan. Really tight battling all through the field here. Got another 4-car batch here. Guido, Race Fan, Desert Penguin with Lead in hot pursuit as well. Let's get back up to that fight for 3rd. Oh, and sure enough, Whitey around the outside into turn 1. Makes the move on Ace Boy. And there's Ace Boy being ever so patient. Let's go on board with Moby. Ooh, gets alongside Ace. We'll stay with the TV cams for now. The side-by-side stuff. Get through the hairpin, then we'll go on board. Moby fell back a little bit, but I don't think we've seen the last of him. He's got to string together the 2 spoon curves here nicely so he can draw up on Ace Boy. Ace Boy's car spitting flames out the exhaust. Is he close enough to draw the benefit from the draft? No, it looks like Ace Boy pulls away ever so slightly. Nicely. Yeah, we could see a little, we could see some remnants of the little tap Ace Boy received from Viper down in the hairpin on lap 1. We'll stay on board stay on board here with Moby up and through the S's, see how he does. Nice and clean, hitting the apexes. Draws near. Oh, and Whitey wide through the hairpin allows Ace Boy to draw closer. Moby feathering the throttle there through that left-hander. Oh, Whitey going wide. Ace Boy showing his nose. And Moby just sitting back, strategizing. Alright, let's check the action from outside the car here. And look at it. Just right up on the bumper of Ace Boy. Will they go side by side? They will. And Moby takes it to the outside. Draws alongside, little argy-bargy, and that gives Moby the inside, and he's by. That may be the move of the race, considering Moby had to carry all that momentum that he'd gained through the S's and keep it along the outside in order to deal with Ace Boy's SLS and that V8. That might even be a supercharged V8. Impressive, for sure. And now he's going to set off to catch Whitey. Will Whitey be able to take the pressure? Let's go on to Whitey here. See how he responds to the presence of Moby. Just lurking. Looks like Damon back there is still holding off Gentleman Racing. I do want to get over to the AM division drivers, see what's going on there. Looks like Race Fan has regained 8th position. Oh, Moby. Moby it's got all that momentum through any of the tight stuff to the point where he's got to back off, but now he's got the draft. And he may be just close enough to be able to draw Whitey in through these S's. Yeah, and yes, he is. You can see the difference there in the car's language and movement. Moby's fastest first sector. Maybe fastest of all. Looking for the inside again. Is that a dummy move? Lots and lots of pressure. It's always tough. You go on board? Do you watch the action from the TV cams? I'm just an amateur filmmaker here, folks. Doing my best. Ace Boy staying with Moby through all of this. We've been following this crew here for 3 laps. Let's see if we can break away. Check on Damon. Yeah, so it looks like Gentleman Racing's gotten closer. Ray's fan with a good gap back to Guido. And now Mo Power ahead of Lead, who's got the Desert Penguin a few car lengths back. Back up to this battle. It's phenomenal. How close is Moby? He's drawn close again through the Casio Triangle. I believe that's what that chicane is called. Casio Triangle. And there he is, right on the bumper. Draws alongside. Is he far enough, long enough? Oh, and Whitey keeps it tight. Gives him barely enough room. Oh, a little more. Oh, a little touch. Moby tries to shut the door. Whitey's not having it. Staying with him. Another touch. That gets a little gnarly for Whitey there. In all fairness, that's racing. That's a racing incident there. Certainly, Moby had drawn ahead enough to claim the rights to that portion of the track. No harm, no foul. Looks like not. Doesn't look like either driver picked up any damage, as you can see there. And Ace Boy, I don't think Ace Boy liked what he saw there, so he backed it off. And Moby, aggressive, very aggressive here in the opening 8 laps to get himself up to the last spot on the podium. Impressive driving, Moby, super aggressive. Moby hasn't been happy with some of the performances as of late. Didn't think he'd fare well here at Suzuka, but as you can see, if you can be done right, you could certainly make up positions in that car. Down about 30 horsepower. Let's go on board with Whitey. See if he can give it back or get the position back. See him reeling it in. But they came in strong here through the Casio Triangle. I don't know why they call it that. I think they call it that. My apologies if they don't. Oh, gets on the grass, gets squirrely. But keeps it together. And maybe that's what Ace Boy was thinking. I'm going to lay back here, give myself a couple car lengths in case something crazy breaks out. Oh, Whitey gets out into the clag. Alright, looks like things have calmed down. Moby's asserted himself in that 3rd position. Whitey's in 4th here. We think we're going to see, maybe going to let things calm down, get the tires cool off a bit and try to mount another attack on Moby. We're thinking Moby's sitting pretty here since that Cayman is very good on fuel and it's kind to its tires in general. Let's see, tires looking good, fuel good. Yeah, you can see tires about the same as the Vet, probably because he was pushing so hard up to this point that there's a little more wear on the tires from the tires that are on that Cayman than normal. I mean, I would imagine that if he were running out there on his own, they wouldn't be as worn as they are right now. And fuel, he's looking good. Oh, and Whitey gets onto the AstroTurf, loses it a bit. Loses 4th to Ace Boy. Loses 5th to Damon. Loses 6th to Gentleman Racing. Gives up 3 positions, falls back to 7th. Race Fans, the first of the AMs, is a little bit further back. Not able to take advantage of that. Gentleman Racing, ever so little by little, drawing in, showing his nose to Damon, but it compromises his trip through the chicane there. I'm just gonna call it the chicane. I'm not even gonna call it the Casio Triangle anymore. I'm getting nervous. I'm thinking I'm wrong about that. All right, one more time, Casio Triangle. All right, let's take a look at the leaders. We haven't checked on them in a bit. Turbo, about a second lead. We have to guess here. PD didn't see fit to give us the telemetry, and we're working this off of a replay, not live. So, just doing the best we can. A couple of features are missing. It's looking good on fuel. Tires are pretty uniformly worn. Fronts take a beating here, but it's to be expected. Timlor holding steady, holding on to 2nd place. All that battling Moby had to do to get up to 3rd has him quite a distance back to Timlor, so we're thinking lockup of the rear brake there. Thinking that he's hoping for some action up front so that he can draw closer to the leaders. Ace Boy. Maybe Ace Boy backed off a little bit too much. Oh, and Gentleman Racing looks like he got by Damon, but he hasn't opened up a gap, so let's see. What do we have here? Yet another battle on track for position. And that's yours truly in the McLaren. Your narrator is Gentleman Racing. I've been told by some of the participants when they watch the race replay that it's kind of weird that I refer to myself in the 3rd person, but cat's out of the bag now, so I'm going to continue to do that. I don't mind being weird. Oh, and you saw Gentleman Racing's avatar look over as if to say, you got it, buddy. It's inevitable. But another nice move on track by a driver. Damon going on the outside through turn 1. Really aggressive move. So Gentleman Racing just tucks in behind Damon here and just kind of runs a little wide into the Degna curve there. I gotta just stop using the names. I think those are the names though. You tell me in the comments, and give us a like if you watch and you make it through the whole race. Just a thumbs up. It's interesting to note here, and this isn't a knock on anybody. Damon's carrying, is not carrying any ballast whatsoever, and Gentleman Racing's at 2%, which equates to about an additional, I want to say each percentage point is right around 29 pounds. So he's if my math is correct, he's 58. That McLaren is 58 pounds or so heavier than the standard Gran Turismo Sport BOP. And amazingly, PD did a nice enough job that it does actually impact the car's performance ever so slightly. And that's what the series is all about. A championship where race to race you don't know what matchups you're going to get. It's all going to be dependent on how you finish the race before and whether you've gained or lost some success ballast. That draws other drivers up. Oh, and Tim Lore pits early. We see him. Tim Lore in 5th, coming out of the pits, fresh tires, fully refueled. But he comes out in the midst of this battle between Gentleman Racing, Damon, and Ace Boy, who's now ever so slightly lost just a little bit of pace. As you can see there, lap 8 was a 2:12. Lost some time there, and then he's been in the 2:10s ever since. And on lap 7, he had ripped a 2:09.4. So losing time, perhaps the tires affecting things. You can see Damon has drawn up on Ace Boy. Let's go on board with Damon. Yeah, and you can see on the left side mirror, Gentleman Racing hovering there as well. This BMW is strong. It's got better tires at this point. Oh, look at Ace go wide. Damon takes a peek. It's got to back off. Ace Boy really struggling. May have even been a love tap there. Let's see what this looks like. Oh, 4 drive. Tim Lore. Yeah, Tim Lore's got to be frustrated with this, because he's clearly being held back. Oh, and Gentleman Racing runs wide, coming out of 130R, brings it back in safely, and Tim Lore is able to get by. Ace Boy pits. Gentleman Racing pits. Turbo out of the pits and stays in the lead. Damon stays out, thinking he's going to try the overcut on Ace Boy and Gentleman Racing, who did pit, and this does not help Tim Lore whatsoever. Hey, and listen, this isn't intentional. Damon's got to run the strategy that he thinks works best for him and his efforts. A little lag there. No, there was no contact, just a little lag. Damon leaves enough room, and Tim Lore is able to get by coming out of the S's, but you can't get the time back. As you can see, prior to the pit, ooh, Turbo weaving, looking to warm up the tires. Maybe he's not feeling them. Not feeling like the tires are up to temp. But the gap is, it looks like the gap between Turbo and Tim Lore has maybe increased ever so slightly. It's possible to know what would have been had Tim Lore not encountered the 3 cars after pitting on lap 11 or 10. Moby in 4th. But we got to remember, Damon hasn't pitted yet. So if Damon pits this lap, it's looking like Moby will get by and regain 3rd place. Don't know if Ace Boy will make it by. It's possible. And Gentleman Racing would do well to just draw that much closer to Damon. So Gentleman Racing looking to pick up a spot on Damon. Damon's in. Let's see this pit. Oof. Come on, boys. Let's get it done. There they are. Get the tires on quick. Take on some fuel. It's like Ace Boy's up ahead. Ace Boy gets by Damon. Does Gentleman Racing? No, he doesn't. Gentleman Racing. He's got to carry that momentum. Try to get as close as he can. Well, it looks like the gap it's gotten larger. Yeah, so Gentleman Racing loses out on that. It's going to have work to do in the last 9 laps here to draw back in on Damon. Race Fan up in 7th in the AMs. Really, really nice job. Qualified as the AM, qualified in the top of his class, but he was in the 11th, I believe, at the start, 11th or 12th. And he's up to 7th. Guido up to 8th. Mo Power pitted, got the car repaired, probably lost him some time there, and he's back battling with Lead. And it has to be said, whoa, Lead, oh, Lead with the dive bomb. Ever so slight bit of contact. Oh, that was fortunate. Fortunate not to have that go really badly. I think that's an honest mistake. That seemed like a mistake more than a deliberate attempt to get the position. But now that he's got it, shuts the door on Mo Power. Listen, we're not going to say that there's any animosity here between these drivers, but in numerous races, they've battled back and forth, and it's been super entertaining. Oh, little retribution there. Ooh, we hadn't seen that before. Hadn't heard of that. Gonna have to address that in the driver's briefing. Again, it doesn't look like anyone got any damage, but we're gonna have to admonish some people. Lap 14, leading into 130R. That's a dangerous place to play games. Let's see if Gentleman Racing's made any progress in his no, not really making any progress on Damon. Just gonna have to just keep chipping away. Tires look good, plenty of fuel. Damon's tires look good. Gentleman Racing on lap 14, not as fastest, but almost in the 209s. Right about the same in this sector. Damon had about a 20-second pit stop. Gentleman Racing about a 22-second pit stop, so maybe that explains some of the time that he lost. Back to Race Fan, still holding Guido off, and Lead and Mo Power just still battling. Mo Power alongside. See how they make it through 130R. And that's the beauty of this GT4 class. You've got a high-powered front-engine, rear-drive, heavy V8 in battle with a lightweight mid-engine rear-wheel drive car. Two totally different philosophies. It's just really, really cool to see that. Gentleman Racing, looks like Gentleman Racing has reeled Damon in. Let's go on board with Gentleman Racing. We wouldn't think it's crunch time just yet. Lap 16 of 23, but Gentleman Racing showing his nose. Oh, and he gets his nose bumped, chopped off, goes wide into the clag. Gets on the throttle sooner. Let's see what this looks like. And Gentleman Racing just putting his car in Damon's mirrors at every chance, at every turn. See the two different lines there. Ooh, and Gentleman Racing gets a nice launch out of Spoon. But there's nowhere to go. But the outside, Damon takes the middle of the road. Very, very good strategy. Oh, but runs wide. Nope, he keeps it on the rumble strip. And you see it there. See Gentleman Racing putting his car in Damon's mirror. And you see Damon's avatar check the driver's side mirror. Yep. Gentleman Racing trying hard to get in Damon's head. Let's check on our combatants. Lead has opened up a gap to Mo Power. Was there an issue? That's quite a significant gap. No one's got damage, so maybe just an off on Mo Power's part. Oh, alongside! Gentleman Racing alongside! Side by side through Degna. But Damon says, no, I'm not giving it up that easy. Try it somewhere else. What a battle. Can this go on for another 6 laps? It'll be 8-9 laps of fighting here. Gentleman Racing might want to reconsider where he's launching his attacks here, because it looks like when he does launch an attack that he loses out, gets a bad launch, and falls back, has to do it all over again. Damon's good on tires. Gentleman Racing about the same, though he's got more fuel. Oh, and Damon gets out wide through 130R. Tires are dirty, runs in deep into the chicane. And that brings Gentleman Racing back, makes his intentions known immediately. Takes the inside. Oh, and Damon gets the left side tires out on the AstroTurf. Doesn't look like there was any contact, although that was very, very tight between those drivers. See, we got to get a look at the passenger side front quarter of this car. No, it doesn't look like there's any scuff marks or any damage that would indicate that they had made contact. Let's check rear driver's side of Gentleman Racing. Come on, give it to us. No. No markings whatsoever. Car looks pristine. So perhaps just a mistake on Damon's part. Running it too deep, and Gentleman Racing finally secures that position, but he's miles back to Ace Boy in fourth. He's gonna need a mistake by Ace Boy at this point to make a run at fourth. So Ace Boy looking good for fourth place finish. Good points. He'll lose some ballast. He was carrying 1%. Good finish if he keeps it. By Gentleman Racing, he'll lose 1% at running at 2% now, so he'll be down to only an additional 29 pounds, as I mentioned earlier. On that car, 1% ballast equates to about 29 pounds, so that'll be good. And next week, race 10, the finale, will be at Spa Francorchamps. All right, don't make fun of me the way I pronounce that, because I'm sure that well, go ahead and make fun. What difference does it make? But if you make fun, throw it in the comments and shoot us a like. Thank you. It helps the channel. All right, we're on lap 19. Looks like there's a decent gap between cars. Mo Power. Led making a push to catch Guido. We have another battle brewing. I wanted to run through the order, but I'd like to see what led the Iron's efforts lead to. Let's go on board with Led. You see, he's got a little bit of. He's gonna have to buff out some scuff marks there from his battles with Mo Power. Getting way out there in the clag. I saw it. He got a penalty, and Led may be getting into Guido's head here, because I thought I saw the Avatar take a peek in the mirror. It's awfully early to be worrying about that. Oh, runs a little hot into Spoon. Come on, Led, keep it clean. Let's give us another battle here. Guido in the pro class. Guido's in the AM class, Led in the pro class. Although Guido running some impressive times. Oh, and Led runs wide out of 130R. Perhaps that aero wash. You can see Led really pushing. Tires have pretty much had it at this point. Guido goes slightly defensive, ever so slightly. Alright, let's run through the order. It looks like Led needs a little more time to possibly catch Guido. Turbo still in the lead. Pole position. Potentially fast lap. Leading every lap. And if he can keep it together, race win. Going for the Grand Slam. Pulling a Lewis Hamilton. Very impressive driver. Timlor, impressive as well in his own right. Dominant early in the season. And as we mentioned earlier, if he's able to hold on to second, he's going to He's going to close out the Drivers' Championship in the Pro class. In a very professional manner at that. Moby, some hard battling, clean battling. Really just some amazing moves to get by both Ace Boy and Whitey earlier in the race. Ace Boy in fourth with a nice gap back to Gentleman Racing. Damon, after the mistake, back in sixth. You know, excellent, good, clean, hard-fought racing with Gentleman Racing for a good 6-7 laps, maybe more. So a few laps before the pit stops, and then several laps thereafter. So impressive drive by both drivers. Somebody's got to come out ahead. It just so happens this time that Gentleman Racing was able to secure that fifth. But looking forward to see what happens between these two, Ace Boy and Moby over in Spa. Maybe even some of the other runners who had a tough day today will show up. Race Fan, has to be said, Race Fan, phenomenal job in the AM class of drivers to steady race. He's going to grab some good points. 7th position. Guido running in the late night hours. Oh, commentators curse, was running a good race. Struggled through the Degna curves. And now that brings lead that much closer. But he's got to look in his mirror at Mo Power. In 11th, we've got Whitey. And it looks like we've lost 3 racers. We lost Kaneda. Viper, we lost early in the race. Kaneda, we've lost. And, Desert Penguin, unfortunately. Don't know the circumstances behind that. I don't think they wrecked out or anything. Maybe connection issues or something else. Hopefully not rage quits. Oh, yeah, there it is. Led's avatar. Takes a look back to see, check on that Mustang. Looks in the mirror. Gets a nice line through 130R. Does a nice job through the chicane. Not that other thing I was calling it. We'll have to check on that after the race. But Mo Power, with all that torque, it's going to draw lead right in. See if there's any more shenanigans over here, hanky-panky between these guys. Let's go on the TV cams. Let's keep it clean, fellas. A little close-up of the sponsor there. Yeah, Led went defensive in order to lock in the inside through the Degnas. Looks like he'll go defensive into more contact, more argy-bargy. And even more argy-bargy. Come on, fellas. Let's keep our heads. Don't let the red mist descend upon you. The dreaded red mist. And you can see both drivers really on the edge. Oh, well done, well done. Yeah, probably a little bit of rubbing there, but the door was open. And Mo Power on lap 22, the penultimate lap, able to secure the position. And now, looking to catch Guido. It has to be noted, Mo Power is also a lead struggling through 130R today. Really struggling. Perhaps in an effort to just carry as much speed as possible. But Mo Power's in the pro division as is lead, so Guido's going to have his hands full here. Final lap. Guido will have his hands full. We really should be with the leader, so we're going to... sadly, we have to break away from here. Well, let's stay with it for about... let's see where the leader is. Leader's going through the hairpin. Let's see what happens here. Mo Power draws up through the S's on the Viper. Oh, gets... Oh, was there contact there? No. No. Doesn't look like there was. Nobody got damaged. So, Mo Power with a highly aggressive move for 8th. Stewards will be reviewing that. And now our leader on the back stretch on the way to 130R. R1600 Turbo. Tim Lure carrying a penalty. Pushing hard. Got to go through the finishing order quickly because I run out of time oftentimes with these race replays. So here we have it. Turbo locks in the win. Tim Lure secures 2nd. 3rd, Moby with an impressive drive. 4th, Ace Boy loses 1% of ballast and gets good points. Gentleman Racing, after a hard-fought battle with Damon, secures 5th. 6th place, Damon, after a long battle with Gentleman Racing. Damon locks in 6th. Impressive, very impressive drive for Race Fan to lock down 7th. 8th, in commanding fashion for Mo Power. 9th, Guido. 10th, Lead. And 11th, Whitey. And that wraps it up. Race 9. See you next week at Spa for Race 10. We'll get some